Hello everybody, my name is Coglan3639. Welcome back to another video. Today in this one we're doing the Datascape deck profile video, plus the combos as well. Well, we're going to do the deck profile first. First things first, technically this is called Virtual World. I hate that name. So for the rest of the video, I'll probably be referring it to Datascape, especially since Dueling Book did not change their names yet. So, but just know that in the TCG it's called Virtual World, and the OCG it's called Datascapes, and I'm sticking with the Datascapes because I like that name better, basically. And then, yeah, so let's just get into it. Phantom Rage is finally released. I will be doing a deck profile for all the archetypes, except for maybe Infernities and UA monsters for Phantom Rage. So yes, if you want to stay tuned for that, please subscribe to the channel. But let's go into the deck profile. First things first is Datascape Lady. I control a 3 of. So basically all the effects of Datascape's monsters, except for 2, which we'll go into later, is basically you get to target a Datascape card, not a monster, a card, and then you get to send another type different from that card and then special summon that card. So types meaning monsters, spells, or traps. So let's say you target a spell, you can only send either a monster or a trap card to the graveyard, and then you get to spell summon the card. And then they all have different bottom effects. So Datascape's Lady's bottom effect is basically he gets to add a different type that wasn't targeted nor sent to the graveyard. So let's say you target a monster and sent a spell, you get to add a trap card. That's amazing. Very good. And it's always going to be good because you can add from the deck. So yeah, 3 of as always, a level 3 tuner as well. So pretty good to have in the deck. Datascape Quillen, the same top effect, target 1 card, send another type to the graveyard, and then its bottom effect is you can just foolish another type different from the card you sent the first time and the card you targeted. So basically just 2 foolish burials in 1 card, so 3 of its course as well. The only levels, only of the few Datascapes that can't become a tuner, but that's fine. It's a level 6 non-tuner that could be used perfectly. So yeah, 3 of it as well. Probably the best card in the Datascape main deck is Datascape Save It and Lao Lao. Its effect is the same top effect as the other 2. Its bottom effect is basically you get to special summon a card different from the card you sent to the graveyard. You can special summon that card in defense position besides the card you targeted, of course, but that you sent, of course. So basically, you can special summon a monster from the graveyard. That is amazing, especially since it's a level 6 tuner and it has so many combos to it, a 3 of as always for this. So yeah, probably the best card in the main deck at least. Datascape Zihi, this is the other Datascape that can never become a tuner, but it's fine to be a level 3 in itself. So basically it has the same top effect, but its bottom effect is during the end phase, he gets to add a Datascape monster from the graveyard. That is amazing. So especially if you have like Lady or Save It in the graveyard, you can just add them back to your hand during the end phase and then have that combo ready during your next turn, which is always going to be good. So of course a 3 of as well. Now until the only two Datascape cards I control 2 of, and I'll explain why. These are the only 2 cards, Datascape Princess and Datascape Rabbit, are the only 2 Datascape monsters that cannot special summon themselves from the hand. They can only special summon each other from the graveyard. Princess effect is if a level 3 monster is normal or special summoned onto the field, except during the damage step, you get to basically special summon him from the graveyard, and then he becomes himself as a tuner. So that's always amazing, but I think drawing into it kind of sucks. Even though this deck can easily get into the graveyard from a hand, I think only a 2 of is perfectly fine, especially when it gets banished. You can add one of your banished reshuffle, or get to add one of your banished monsters back into the deck. So yeah, it's good. I can see the argue for 3 for this card, but I think 2 is just good enough. I think 1's way too low, but 3 and 2 I think it's perfectly fine. Now I won't say that for Datascape Rabbit. I think 2 of is just, I think 3 is too much and 1's too low. But then again, I don't think 1's like arguable. Like that can definitely, if you want to only control 1 of this card, that's perfectly fine. Basically, if you control no monsters, or all of your monsters are psychic and worm monsters, which every card is in this deck besides, you know, the hand traps and Zoo King Alpha, and then your speedroids, which we'll get into all of that later, you can special summon this card. And then when this card's in the graveyard, you can discard 1 worm or psychic monster from your hand to special summon this card from your graveyard, and then have the ability to become it. And if you do, he becomes a tuner on the field. So again, another great level 6 tuner you can do, but I don't think that's kind of worth it here. So yeah. So I think only a 2 or 1 of is for this card at all. So yeah, now let's go into the hand traps. I control 3 Ash Blossoms. I think Ash is just better in this deck than Effect Veiler is right now. So yeah, so 3 Ash and then 2 Effect Veilers. I'm not going to explain their effects because I think everyone knows that at this point. And then Zoo, King, Alpha. One of the most powerful cards in Phantom Rage. I control 2 of in this, but it can be replaced with Kaijus, which I'll get into later. So yeah, basically, this is can get rid of your opponent's field. It's non-destruction, non-targeting, removal. It's not technically removal because you add it back to whatever it came from. But then again, ability to do that is amazing. And a 3000 beat stick if he gets negated. You can special summon this card as if you're a monster, if your opponent controls more attack monsters than you do. So basically, if you go second, you can just special summon this card straight away. That's amazing. Now into the 1-ofs, I control 1 Speedroid Terratop. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. And when this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 Speedroid monster from your deck to your hand. So the card you're targeting is Speedroid Tank Tomborg. Basically, you add him, and then if you control a wind monster, you can special summon this card. Bottom effect doesn't really matter, but that's the top effect. The top effect is basically your combo is Speedroid Terratop, you add Tank Tomborg, and then special summon Tank Tomborg because Terratop is a wind monster, and then go into your Datascape Dragon as an XYZ monster. So pretty good little combo right there. Psychic Wilder is a level 3 tuner. Basically, if you control a level 3 monster, you can just straight up special summon this card, which, of course, this deck controls a lot of level 3, so that's perfectly fine. And then, if this card is sent to the graveyard for a synchro material, you can target 1 monster on the field with less attack than the synchro monster that used the synchro material. Destroy that card, I think. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's a pretty good effect. So always nice to have in there. And then we have Psychic Tracker, the same thing, same top effect as Psychic Wielder. If you control level 3, you can just straight up special summon him from your hand. And then if you use him as a synchro material, the synchro monster gains 600 attack when it pops out onto the field. So pretty good, especially if you do it with Datascape Fox. Datascape Fox goes into the 34, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Now we go into the spells and traps of this. I got Datascape Gate Qing Lung on the. I have 3 of. This is basically your searcher for the deck. Besides Datascape Lady, you have another searcher in Datascape Gate Qing Lung. So basically, I'm going to go into its graveyard effect first. When this card's in the graveyard, you can banish this card and then search out a Datascape card, and then you discard 1 card. That discard might have been a negative, but that discard actually helps out the Datascapes more than you think it does. So amazing effect you get to add and then discard it is pretty good effect all around. So yeah, this is going to be a pretty good card, your searcher. And then its top effect is when it's on the field, you can banish 1 Datascape card from your graveyard, target 1 card, negate its effect. So pretty good on-field effect. It's not a quick effect, so you can't do it during either player's turn, which I think if it was, this card would be broken and probably be banned. But yeah, that's a pretty good card to have. 3 of course, just because of its search effect. Datascape Capital, I control 2 of. I'll get back into this card. I want to explain the trap card first before I go into this. Foolish Burial Goods. This is just to send your searcher in Datascape Qing Lung, or if you want to send the trap to the graveyard, so you can set up those combos. I control 2 of because I think 3 is just a little too much, especially since the Datascapes can send the spells and traps to the graveyard anyway. But I think not having in the deck kind of hurts the deck a little bit too. So I think 3 is too much. I think 1 or lower is too low. I think 2 of is just perfect. So yeah, I control 2 of. Emergency Teleport is a special summon 1 level 3 or lower psychic monster from your hand, but banish it during the end phase. Who cares? Because you're really just going out to try to synchro summon and stuff like that. So your targets are Datascape Lady, Datascape Princess, or your psychic monsters. You can do any of those. So pretty good effect all around. That's the reason why it's limited to 1 right now. So yeah. Then the trap card, Datascape Gate, good card all around. Its main effect on the on-field effect is the reason why this card's so good. Target 1 face-up card on the field, shuffle 2 of your banished Datascape cards, not even monsters, cards, shuffle them back into your deck, and then destroy that card. 3 of all around. And even if this is in the graveyard, banish this card. You can target 1 of your Datascape monsters, increase or decrease their level by 3. Amazing to set up into your True King of All Calamities, which this deck is going into a lot of in this deck. So yeah, amazing card. And now going back to Datascape Capital, you get to place 1 Datascape Gate card directly from your deck face up into your spell or trap zone. So basically, it can activate the trap immediately. That's why this card is so good. I think 3 of is just too much though, because I mean, most of the time you're gonna either have 1 or 2 traps back or in your graveyard. So if this had the ability of getting it in from the graveyard to the fielder spell zone, that would be amazing, but it doesn't. So I think 2 of is just perfectly fine. And then it has effects based on how many Datascape gate cards you control. That's the spell and trap. So if you control 2, your monsters, Datascape monsters gain 200 attack for the rest of the turn. If you have 3, you can send the top 3 cards from your deck to the graveyard. And then if you have 4, probably the most impossible one to do, is special summon up to 4 Datascape monsters with different names from the extra deck, which is amazing. And the reason why it's so hard to do, this is one of the cards that like has a really good effect, but super hard to pull off. But when you do, because I have done it multiple times, it's amazing when you do. So yeah, pretty good effect all around. And then just to finish out the deck, 2 Infinite Appearance as another hand trap kind of thing. So yeah, now going in to the extra deck. My bad. Okay, Datascape Fox. I control 2 of. I know people might want to control this at 1. If you do, go ahead. I'm not going to blame you for it. I think 2 is a pretty good amount to have in the extra deck. 3 is too much, but I think 2 is good as well. Basically, this is a Macrocosmos on the field. Anything sent from the field to the graveyard is banished instead. That's a passive effect, so it's not activating. It's just a passive effect, so amazing. And then when one of your monsters declare an attack, not even Datascape Fox, you can return 1 banished card from your banished area to the graveyard. And then the reason why this card's so good, during your main phase, except for the turn this was sent to the graveyard, you get to special summon, or banish 2 monsters with different types. Is it types and attributes, or just types? With 2 monsters with different types and attributes, which you can definitely do in here, and then special summon this card from the graveyard. That's a good effect because it doesn't say Datascape monster. It just says 2 different types and attributes. So meaning you can use Ash Blossom, Effect Veiler, Speedroid Tank, Tombor, Zoo King Alpha, but then again they're Earth and Wind, so you can't really do anything. Then again, always a good effect. So the reason why I want 2 of them in here. Ravenous Croc Dragon. This is basically like your Coral Dragons in like your For Noble Knights. Basically, when this is synchro summoned, you get to draw as many cards based on the number of non-link or non-tuner monsters it used for its effect, or used for its materials. And considering in this deck, you can actually use 2 materials to go into this, you can basically use this as a Pot of Greed. So pretty amazing effect to have in the extra deck, so pretty good. Cloud Castle, basically when this card is synchro summon, target 1 level 9 monster in your graveyard, special summon that target, and level 8 or lower monsters cannot attack the turn they're normal, or special summon, which can shut down your opponent as well. Or, well, it won't shut down your opponent, it just, they can't attack that turn. So it's pretty amazing effect just to target your Macrocosmos without wasting its effect. So yeah, pretty good effect. Vermilion Dragon Mech is a level 9 synchro again. Target 1. You can banish 1 tuner from your hand, deck, or hand, graveyard, or face up on the field. Target 1 card on the field, destroy it. And then if this card is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 banished tuner, add it to your hand. So pretty good effect. So yeah, we'll go Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. I'll get right back into this. We got Datascape Beast Juju. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects when you have 2 or more monsters with the same type or attributes but different names in your graveyard. It's a level 6 synchro. You can banish 2 monsters with the same original type or attributes but with different names in your graveyard. Target 1 card on the field, send it to the graveyard. So it has not the destruction effect, but it still has that target effect, which kind of sucks. So yeah, but then again, it's always nice. But I think 1 of is the only way to use this. Ultima Tolzokin. Basically, this card can't be synchro summoned, but could be special summoned from your extra deck by sending a level 5 or higher, 2 level 5 or higher monsters from your field to the graveyard, special summon this card. And they both have to be the same level. So if you do a level 6, the other card has to be a level 6. And one has to be a tuner and a non-tuner. Which, I mean, they kind of confused that. I don't know why they did that. They could have just made this a 12 synchro and still had that effect. But yeah, this is pretty good, especially Datascapes can pull this out. So, and then its effect is when a card gets set onto the field, you can special summon a Power Tool Synchro monster or a level 7 or 8 Dragon Synchro monster from your extra deck. That's why Crystal Wing Dragon is in here. He's a level 8 Synchro Dragon. And then his effect is once per turn when a monster effect is activated, you can negate the activation. If you do, destroy it, and it's a quick effect. And if the card gets destroyed, he gains attack equal to the original attack of that monster. Pretty good card, and the reason why we only control Ultimate Tolzolkin just to get Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon in here. So that's it for the Synchro monsters. We go into the XYZ monsters now. Datascape Dragon, long. Basically, he can negate hand traps, but your opponent must control a monster to do so. So that's kind of the downside. Your opponent must control a monster before you can negate a hand trap, but this can counter dinosaurs and miscellaneous swords, because they most likely will activate it during when they have monsters on the field. But then again, miscellaneous swords can get around it because he can just activate before he has any monsters on the field. So yeah, that's the reason why Datascape Dragon. He's not the best, but he can still negate hand traps, which is a good reason why he's in here. Number 3, Cicada King, another rank 3. He can basically negate effects once per turn. When a monster on the field activates effect, you can detach 1 material from this card, negate the activation, and then you can make 1 insect monster, which you'll target himself because he's the only insect monster we have in this deck. It gains either 500 defense or change its paladin's position. So yeah, pretty good effect. Basically just a negation. Datascape Phoenix, this is a rank 6, 2 rank 6 or more. That's up to you. Once per turn, detach 2 materials from this card, target one face-up opponent's monster, and just any other card in either player's graveyard, banish them. That's a pretty good effect, and the reason why he's added 2 of in this. And then when he's destroyed by a battle or card effect, let me just, destroyed by battle with their opponent's attacking monster or by opponent's card effect while it's own or monster zone, so make sure you always summon it in the monster zone. Special summon 2 Datascape monsters from the deck with the same types and attributes as each other. Doesn't even need to be different monsters. Just if you want to do 2 same monsters, go right ahead. So yeah, this is a pretty good card I control 2 of. True King of all calamities. I think everyone knows his effect at this point. Detach 1 material, declare 1 attribute, and this turn all face-up monsters on the field become that attribute. Also, monsters in your opponent's possession with that attribute cannot activate their effects or attack my bad. So basically, they can't just activate effects. That's basically the reason why True King of all calamities is in here. So yeah, pretty good. I can only control 1 of those, so yeah. And then Zeus, because everyone knows Zeus is overpowered. Once per turn, if an XYZ monster is battle, which of course it's going to happen, you can special summon this card using the XYZ monster as material, and then detach 2, just send everything else to the graveyard. Pretty amazing effect. So yeah, that's it for the main deck. I mean, you can do whatever in the side deck. I would advise doing Kaijus. If you want to replace Kaijus with Zoo King Alpha, that's perfectly fine. I think maybe the Kaijus might be better than Zoo King Alpha just because Kaijus can't be negated. So yeah, if you want to go to Kaijus, you definitely can. And then True King Lithium, the Disaster, I would consider as well. Just because, so basically, you can summon this card by destroying 2 cards, including an Earth monster, and then special summon this card. And you can destroy it from hand or field. So pretty good effect. But if you end up doing 2 Earth monsters, which you want to do, you can banish 3 of your opponent's extra deck monsters, and you get to choose. So that's pretty amazing effect, and probably the reason why it's limited to 1. So if you want to consider putting this in the deck, go right ahead. But that's it for the deck profile. I'll go into the combos now. I've been talking for a while. It's been 18 minutes. So yeah, I'll go into the combos now. So yeah. Alrighty, I'm versing a computer first before... I clicked the wrong thing. So I'm going to verse a computer first before going into an online opponent, just to show you what you do with the... with your plays. So here, basically, you're trying to go into True King of all calamities. So activate emergency teleport. He Ash blossoms him. That's perfectly fine because we have Datascape monsters, so it really doesn't matter. Ash doesn't really affect this deck if you have multiple Datascape monsters in your hand. So that's pretty good. So we'll activate him by targeting the spell. We'll send a trap card to special summon in attack position, and then we get to add a card, which in this case will be a monster. I guess we will add him. And then we'll use the effect of, we'll activate Quinlan to target the monster so we can send this spell to the graveyard and then special summon him in attack position. If you want to send the trap here, you can. I'm not going to just because I don't want to send too many traps. So you can definitely do your 9 here. I'm going to go into my Macrocosmos now. And then we're going to, this is going to be very hard. I don't really need to activate the spell here. but I might, just so I can do it what I want to do. Nah, we'll just stick with what we have. We'll activate... what am I doing? What am I doing? Okay, I made a mistake, but I can redo it. We'll send a trap card here, and then special summon him in defense position, and then we can special summon a monster. We'll do Lin Lin here. And then we will activate this spell card, so we can add Princess, and then we're just going to discard Princess as that discard effect, and then we're going to activate you, target them, and then send, we'll send Rabbit in this case, special summon him in defense position, and then, you know, Datascape Princess effect in graveyard, I can special summon in defense position, and becomes a tuner. So here I will go into I guess I'll go into Ravenous, and then we will get that draw effect from himself. We're going to activate her to reshuffle him back into the deck. And then we got that draw. That's a nice draw there. And then we will special summon another Macrocosmos, I guess. We'll have these two banished. That's perfectly fine. Special summon another Macrocosmos so we can go into a true King of all calamities. We're not going to do 3 materials. We'll just do 2. And then it has a pretty good build right here. And if you want to summon more cards, you probably can. But this is perfectly fine as now. You end phase, then we'll activate Datascape Z's effect during the end phase to add a card, and we'll add Lady here. And then opponent's turn will activate basically True King of all calamities. This is basically the play. And then you detach. Make sure you detach Datascape Fox so you can special summon her during your turn next turn. So basically has the set because he has nothing else to do. That's what this deck is good for, because True King of all calamities kind of just stop all monsters. And of course, we're just going to, I don't have another Datascape in here. That is interesting. I do have an Earth in there. So we'll activate, we will target a spell, and then, so I don't have an Earth in there, so I'll send another Earth monster, spell summon him in attack position. Oh, we can we'll add the trap. Oh, adding the trap's going to be nice here. And then we will, it needed to be a wind monster. I'm an idiot, but that's fine. I can still do it. Normal summon without tributing because we all have worms and psychics. And then we will go into, we can do Cloud Castle. Cloud Castle could be nice, but is it? I would want that destroy effect right now. Oh, it's banished. Oh, I totally forgot Macrocosmos is on the field. Oh, so I should have done Cloud Castle. I make mistakes sometimes here, but even though this field is still pretty good. And then we'll, actually, battle phase, we will attack with True King of all calamities, activate his effect to add a wind monster. Wind monster will add you. Oh, it's gamed here. If you can't stop this, it's... Oh, no, don't activate. I'm an idiot. No, I'm a fucking idiot. Well, I could have gamed him, and I made another mistake. That's the one thing that's... Oh, well, never mind. I still win. Thank God. I made plenty of mistakes in there. But then again, I kind of it doesn't really matter because I was able to do it later on in the battle. So yeah, that's kind of the combos. Go into your True King of all calamities, and then just kind of just control the field from there. So yeah, I'll go into an online opponent, and then we'll end the video there. But first, we'll go into an online opponent. Alrighty, I found an online opponent. So let's just get straight into this. So yeah, the Datascape is basically just, get True King of all calamities onto the field. But then again, Macrocosmos just by himself on the field is kind of a threat as well from some decks. Can you choose something else, please? Thank you. So I'm assuming he chose first. I got an Ash Blossom though. Ooh, 2 Datascape Savings. That's one thing with this deck. It can sometimes brick. And that's the bad thing about this deck. It can brick, and when it does brick, it's kind of bad. But it seems like he doesn't have anything. He just T-sets past. So yeah, oh my God, this is a fucking garbage hand. Activate Foolish Burial Goods. We'll send the spell. Luckily, the spell can actually save us here. No, we will add the U, and then we'll send one of our rabbits. And then we're just going to kind of have to waste our normal summon here. Ooh, that's a nice thing. Ooh, this could be nice. Activate, we'll send a trap. Oh, and we get to add a spell here, which is going to be nice because we can activate Datascape Castle and then activate Datascape Castle to get our trap back onto the field. And then I guess we'll go into our 9 play to get Macrocosmos onto the field, and then we will activate you, target you, of course, and then this whole combo is just once again just special summon from the graveyard. We'll do you in this case, and then proceed to activate you, sending you to graveyard. No, go you. Ooh, I don't have a set monster though. This could be bad. We'll go you though. I think this has to be a face-up monster though. This is fine. 10 target. Yeah, 1 face-up card. And then we will banish to do a 9 play with. Increase your level to go into our True King of all calamities. And then we target 1 face. It has to be a face-up card. God damn it, that's kind of screwing me right now, and I don't want to really attack. Let's see. We will attack you first before we attack with True King. Ooh, when your opponent declares an attack, you take a damage equal to the attacking monster, and if you do, banish that monster. Ooh, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. He's trying to save this set for some reason. I'm just going to end there because I don't want to lose True King. And then during his draw phase, we are activating True King of all calamities. Detach, declare divine. So whatever this flip effect is, he can't do. So that's amazing. So let's see what his response here. This is basically just all it is. True King of all calamities, and just control the field since that. So hopefully they don't have a negate or try to protect. Ooh. Into a summon skull. Oh, that's interesting. It's not like I can just get rid of it by shuffling my monsters. This is the reason why this trap is pretty good. Oh boy, and now he only has 1 trap. Wasted his normal summon. This is going to be amazing. What the hell deck am I versing if he has Summon Skull? Oh, and he surrenders. So yeah, I don't want this video to go too long. So basically, yeah, just go into your True King of all calamities and then have your Datascape Fox on the field your next turn and kind of just control from there. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, leave a like and subscribe. I will be doing a probably Zodiacs next, and then more of the archetypes for the Phantom Rage later on. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.